The third time is the charm. The third time is the splash. I remade my build again. And the main reason I'm doing it is because I want Intimidator. I thought you couldn't get Intimidator on a point guard. You can, you just need to get a 74 block rating. The only way to get a 74 block rating with a point guard is to be 6'6". Even if you go 6'5" max wingspan, you're only gonna get up to 69 for the block rating. So I went 6'6". I did lose 2 for my acceleration. It's only 88, but I still have 90 speed. That's important. That's why I went 6'11". I'm gonna be playing MyCareer. I'm gonna be playing the rec. You need to have speed because some guards are gonna have 92 speed, 93 speed, maybe even 94. If you're in the 80s with your speed, you're not gonna be able to keep up. I'm gonna talk more about the build and the numbers in a little bit, but now let's look at the badges. My build is exactly the same except for finishing and defense. The badges are a little bit different. For finishing, I now have 11 badges when I only had 7 before. So what that means is I can have Hall of Fame Posterizer, Hall of Fame Heat Seeker. I can even throw on Slithery Finisher Gold, or I can go Fearless Finisher, or maybe I can go Slithery Hall of Fame and go Heat Seeker Gold. There's so many different options. Then of course for defense, now that I have 7 badges, I can go Hall of Fame Clamps and then Gold Intimidator. But right now the badge setup I'm going with for defense, I have Gold Intimidator, Gold Clamps, and I have Bronze Rim Protector. I'm gonna unlock Hall of Fame Clamps when I get to 99. The main reason why I decided to change my build is because people are starting to figure out how this game works. A lot of people have been complaining about contested jump shots going in too much. That's because the system this year, it's more realistic. It's more difficult because in the past, if you would get like a 15% contest or even a 20%, you were gonna miss that shot most of the time. But in this game, even if you get a 30% contest or even maybe 40%, you can still make that shot with good ratings, with good timing of the shot, and also with a combination of badges. And people are starting to figure out what badges you need to put on your player in order to lower the shot contest numbers. This is a funny dilemma because in past 2Ks, the shot contest would be even lower than that, maybe 10%. You'd have a guy like standing next to you and people would complain that the guy standing next to them is contesting the shot and making that number go up, and they're mad that they're missing the shots. But this year, now that you can make shots even when people are around and the numbers are a little bit higher, everybody's freaking out. So going into the future, I want my shot contest to matter, and the one badge that we know is going to influence the shot contest and those numbers is Intimidator. And since making this new build, I've seen my contest numbers skyrocket. And now all of those contests that used to be 20 to 30%, I'm now seeing 55%, 60%, sometimes even 70%. The same type of quality contests that I was doing before, now with this badge, is changing my defense. I'm not looking at any gameplay right now as I'm recording this commentary, but I might have some clips of me influencing shots and even dunks. I'm getting people to miss dunks now. Before with my other build, I could stop posters sometimes, but usually I would have to foul them. So they would go up, I'd jump up, and then I'd foul them in midair. Their dunk would change to a layup, and then they'd be on the free throw line. But now with this new build, I did save some clips, some examples of that happening, so hopefully I can find them and I include them in this video. There was a sequence where back-to-back dunks, I jumped up and helped contest, and they missed both of those dunks. So with the upgraded defense, this build is still doing everything else that I loved about my point guard build. I'm still shooting threes from deep. I'm still snapping ankles. There's gonna be a lot of ankle breakers in this video. I know there's gonna be clips all over the place. So I'm having fun with this build. Once I max out my point guard, I will make some other positions, some other builds. And those builds are mainly gonna be for playing online because I'm not really gonna do a MyCareer series with other positions, except for Moses code when I bust out the center. I've played so many games with Luke and he saw both builds. He saw the build before this new one and he is amazed at the increase in the defense because now I'm getting some blocks sometimes too. And he's just seeing a lot of guys missing shots and missing dunks. And he's like, look at that Intimidator cheese. So even he can see the difference. I definitely see and feel the difference. There's another major dub for making my build over again. Now I have all of the rookies in MyCareer. Because when the game first came out for next gen, the draft didn't even happen yet. So the rookies, they weren't even scanned in the game. And when you go up against their teams, they wouldn't be there. You would have a bunch of fake rookies, or maybe there wouldn't even be rookies. Who knows? But now I have the real rookies in the game. The only bad thing is that trade that just happened, John Wall for Russell Westbrook, that's not going to be in MyCareer. And that's why going into the future, 2K should allow us to just make trades. It should be like My League or My NBA. You should have full control of all of the trades behind the scenes. It can still be MyCareer, where you got to level up, your badges, you got to use VC, all of that. But let us make the trades, because every year this happens. There's a blockbuster trade at the deadline, or maybe even at the start of the season, and the game always comes out before the season starts. So there might be players on different teams, and you don't have those matchups because the roster didn't have that at the time. So why not let us have that functionality going forward for 2K22 and beyond, where we can just make the trade at any time? And then of course, maybe you wanted to have some type of fantasy thing going on in your offline career. You should be able to do it. It's offline, it's fantasy. You should be able to have all the fun you want. It wouldn't mess up anything they have going on with the park, because this is offline when you're playing against a CPU. So why not let it fly? So now that I went with the block rating, I no longer have the steal rating. And it doesn't even matter, because my other build, I had the steal rating, I had badges like pickpocket, interceptor, but honestly, I didn't see a reason to have that rating and those badges. So even though the build was great, that's not efficient when you have ratings that don't matter and don't do anything. So you might as well make the build over again. My other point guard build that I was using, in order to get that steal rating and those badges, I had to sacrifice some of my other ratings. Like finishing, I had a 70 layup, which is good, but you kind of have to be strategic about the layups that you're attempting. But now my build has an 85 layup. So that's a totally different attack when I'm doing a layup with that rating. So I'm very happy about that. Now, what's funny about the rec center, when they put out the patch, they said that they fixed the glitch where if the other team quits, you still get your progress. You don't get stuck on that black screen. I'm not sure if you actually get your progress. I've been having a lot of people quit. I actually had one session where there were 5 quits in a row. So some people, they quit in the first quarter. Some teams, they quit in the second or third quarter. But then when we finally finished the game after the 5 straight quits, I noticed that my badge progress was actually glitched. What they were showing, it was showing like a negative number or some weird number. And then my level, it appears to have not gone up at all, because the percentage is the same percentage I had after a game when it actually did complete. And then it was progressing from there, and it didn't go up by much when we finally completed the game. And I asked Luke, and he said he thinks the same thing is happening. He doesn't think that when people are quitting out, you're actually getting the progress for that. And I've had games where I'm just about to level up to the next overall, or I'm about to get a badge, I'm right on the edge. And then when the team quits after the game, if we go back to the lobby, instead of staying there to find another game, we don't have any badge progress. I don't have any more progression on my actual attributes. So I can't confirm this. I guess let me know in the comment section below, if you've been playing the rec center, do you think that it's fixed and all of your progress saving even when the other team backs out? And it's crazy because I've played a few games now where we went up against some pro-am style teams. I don't know if they're pro players or what, but these guys were playing 5 out. They were running that very annoying offense where it's one guy doing all the work, either ISOing or doing a pick and roll all game long. Now, the funny thing is, when you waste your time and play this snooze fest of a game, if you get the win, I've noticed that these teams, they always quit with about 30 seconds left. It's almost like they are all colluding together to make sure that when they lose, because they're salty that they lost to you, I guess their strategy didn't work, they're going to quit out so you don't get your progress. And that's happened to me 3 or 4 times now, where these teams that are playing this 5-out offense, if you actually beat them, they all quit. And it makes no sense to quit when there's 30 seconds left. Why would you quit that late? I think it's because they know you're not going to get your progress. and they're gonna exploit it because they want you to basically say, hey, you just wasted 30 minutes playing and you're not even gonna get the win, or you're not even gonna get badge progress or any of that. That's some cheese. It's so weird that a full team, an organized team, that's playing that style where everybody's standing in the same spot, they all have their little roles. When they lose, they would all do that. No sportsmanship, just leaving at the end. And even when you win those games, when you have to play that play style, it just seems like a waste of time anyway. This video is already pretty long, but one more thing I want to talk about. I think that Rookieville is a mistake. I hope it doesn't return, because if you're a MyCareer player only, you don't want to have to go online and play with a bunch of randoms. It takes a long time, because it took me about 2 hours. Not 2 hours of actually playing, but when you play a game, in order to get a game, you have to wait in line, you have to wait on the got next. Even when you win, you don't get to play right away. You got to go wait on the got next again, watch another team play. So that 2 hours, and it might even be more, because if you lose games, you might not get as much. So it could be longer than 2 hours. If you're an offline player only, you're a MyCareer player, you don't want to even do that. And then by not doing that, you don't get the Gatorade boost from training each week. You don't get to buy any clothes for cutscenes. There's a lot of stuff that you're missing out on. You don't get daily spins that you get in the city. So they're locking off a part of the game by forcing you to play online. And you should never have to do that, because there's even animations in past 2Ks where, let's say after you make a jump shot, you celebrate. And that makes no sense. For offline, why do I need progress online to unlock animations for offline? It would be like if they told park players you have to go into MyCareer and do something in order to unlock something for online. It wouldn't make any sense to do that, but that's what's happening here with Rookieville. And Rookieville came out of nowhere. We never had that in previous 2K, so I don't know what made them put that in there. Maybe they have some analytics that says a lot of people actually don't play much online, and maybe Rookieville will never be empty. It doesn't matter what time of the year that people get the game. Maybe, I don't know. They have all the analytics, so I guess that's possible, but it's just crazy to me. I'm glad I got out of Rookieville as fast as I did, because I thought it was going to be a disaster to play with those randoms to level up, but it actually wasn't that bad. I got pretty lucky and got it done in 10 games. But this is a long video already. I talked about enough. Hopefully you enjoy my new build. It's basically the same thing. It's just a little bit better on defense. I'm pretty excited, and I'm all caught up now in MyCareer, so I'll be continuing that very soon. And also, let me know in the comments section if you want to see a Cyberpunk Let's Play series starting next week. Oh, I dropped him! That's beautiful! That's a great sign. I'm getting ankle breakers in Takeover without the ankle breaker badge. Wow. If I can get ankle breakers without